Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Sulk stream. I'm the Incredible Sulk. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are prepared for Friday, and you're excited for the weekend. And yeah, it's been a long week for me. There's been some challenges, and here I am at the finish line, at the home stretch. Still getting over. I mean, I'm feeling better. I am, but yeah, I'm here. I'm doing it. I'm doing it for you guys. Here we are. Tonight we're talking about AI. Again, we're talking about AI because AI is the thing to talk about. AI is what's going to destroy our lives and probably end humanity and bring us all to ruin or transfer us to some weird post-work utopia where we're all getting laid and everyone's beautiful and lives forever. It is the duality of the future that we have to deal with, and that we're coming up closer and closer, faster and faster than we previously thought, than anybody previously thought. Tonight's episode is about that compounding advancement that was unforeseen. Not like Moore's Law. Moore's Law was pretty straightforward. Moore's Law was a doubling of computers every 18 months or something like that, and that held true for a long time based on hardware and stuff like that. But this is different. This is much faster. This is much faster. And it's coming down the lane. Coming down the line, it's displacing jobs. It's making fake people, and it's cracking encryption. It is changing our lives every single day. And I'm going to sit here and make jokes, because what else do I do? So get comfy, get cozy, grab a nice bottle of I don't know, something you can drink quickly, because it's going to end soon. Relatively. If you're working, keep working. If you're driving, please drive home safely. Or not. Maybe you have a Tesla or something. Then just hit the button and enjoy the show. I'm the Incredible Sulk. This is the Sulk stream. This is called There Is No AI Bubble. Enjoy.
But what's actually happening is way crazier than that. To understand why, there's one chart you need to see. This is the chart all the serious AI researchers obsess over. A chart that has nothing to do with stock prices and everything to do with what AI can actually do.
That my internet can't, apparently. I wonder if that's just my fucking internet, man.
Some AI scientists see this line and feel hope, but others feel their stomach crawl with terror because they know what's about to happen. The meter graph has become a load-bearing institution on which our global stock markets depend. I'll show you this in the 8 most important charts.
Our whole stock market, like 90% of the stock market right now, depends on AI. It's not about like what we can build or anything like that. It's all AI. It is just, people say it's a bubble, right? And that obviously looks true, because it's like OpenAI feeding into NVIDIA, and then NVIDIA is feeding back into OpenAI, and then there's a couple other businesses that are feeding back into both of those things. It's not actually spending or making any money, really. It's just kind of like musical chairs with billions and billions of dollars. Now, the stock market reflects this and say, look, we have higher than ever profits, also while pumping tons of money into the economy. So yes, it looks like the stock market is going up, but those dollars don't equate to actual worth, right? They're just fake numbers. So the entire US market is dependent on AI making some sort of super economy. And if this fails, then we're screwed. We're absolutely screwed. And if it succeeds, we're still screwed. We're still just as screwed, just in a different way, in a more fun way.
To answer the question, if AI is actually a bubble. To be clear, in some ways it could be, But by the end of this video, you'll realize most people have no idea what they're talking about, and why what's actually happening is way more important. Researchers at nonprofit research org, Meter, set out to answer a critical question. How big of a real-world job can an AI complete entirely on its own? Not to hype it, just to measure it. AI companies love to game their benchmarks to make their AI models seem powerful, but they can't bullshit this one. Nope, their AI can either do the real-world job, or it can't. That is why this one matters so much.
What kind of jobs are we talking about? Like, not real jobs in the first place? Like, where you go into an office and, like, you say hi to people. Like, hi, Karen. Hi, Pete. How's it going? Oh, we're just sitting here at the desk. Like, get in the desk cube. Get in the desk cube. We're all sitting in the desk cube. Hop on in, right? And then just stare at the gray walls and then clack away for the next 8 hours of your life. Those aren't jobs. That's not a job, right? It's a babysitting service. It's not a job. That's not what a person should be doing, right? Oh, what do you do? Oh, I fill out Excel spreadsheets. Or I answer emails. Yeah, like 1 to 2 a day. Yeah, and the rest of the time I just take large sips of them out of my Stanley cup. And then I have terrible diarrhea all the time because I'm constantly drinking gigantic frappuccinos. And I'm a fat bitch in her 40s. Then there's an Indian guy. There's always an Indian guy. Always an Indian guy that you don't want to go into the bathroom afterwards because you have to wait until janitorial goes through there and just cleans up that biohazard. Nope. I would not work well in a corporate setting. I've tried it. They didn't like me. I didn't like them. And I'm just not built for it. Just not built for it, dude. I can't do it. The people call me lazy or not a team player. And like in some aspect, they're totally right. But also I'm just like, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. This is bullshit. I don't want to live my entire life. Look, I sit here because you want me to like, oh, I hope I have shelter when I go home tonight. Or I hope I can go home and like grab some Taco Bell and play video games for a couple hours before I go to sleep and then wake up to this goddamn nightmare again. No, man, I'm afraid of sitting there. That's what I'm not afraid of not getting Taco Bell, not having a roof over my. I'm not afraid of any of that shit. I'm afraid of sitting there for 8 hours a day and acting like I belong. Or worse, feeling like I belong. I really don't want to do that, but of course there was no issue for me. But some people do. They feel like they belong. They feel like, I fit right in this soulless corporate meritocracy. It's not a meritocracy. It's just a bureaucracy. That's the word I was looking for. It just seems like a fucking nightmare. So I would rather just throw myself out that fucking pane glass window. And it's not like a smell thing. And it's not the people in general. Look, I mean, people are people and stuff. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan, but I don't naturally hate them. There's just a sense of what they're doing is important, even though it's absolutely not. Those aren't jobs. I don't care if you pay 6 figures. Oh, I make $250,000 a year by sitting here and going click, 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 click. Okay, well, I would put a pistol in my mouth immediately. It's not about money. Life is not about money. Your time is not about money. Your time here is supposed to be experienced. When you go into a video game, what do? Are you that person that just gains all the money? Even though you have limited things to purchase? Even though money in the game is really not a core mechanic? I've seen people like that. That all they do is get that number higher, even though it has really nothing to do with the storyline or like the mechanics of the game or anything like that. There's just something broken inside of them that tells them they're doing better when that number on the screen is larger, even though it has nothing to do with the game. Those aren't jobs. So AI, please take those away from us. Well, away from me. I don't know. Some people thrive in that scenario. Some people, that's all they have. That structure, rigidity, that thing that they have to have, because they have nothing else. They have no creativity. They have no ambition. They're NPCs. They are real life NPCs. And you cannot tell me those people don't exist. You know they exist. There's people out there that don't have inner monologues, that don't have conversations in their head, which means you don't have actual thoughts. If you don't have a little person talking in your head, and I think I have several, and like they're all angry at each other. And if you don't have even one person, you don't actually have any thoughts. You live your life on autopilot all day long until you're old and gray, and then you look back on all your achievements like that actually fucking means anything without having like a rich inner life whatsoever. Not even rich. Just a mediocre inner life. You have no inner life whatsoever. You're completely existing in this outside area. This outside, this stuff, which I'm not even sure exists, right? You guys are aware of like solipsism, right? Where I'm basically imagining everything that's going on. I'm imagining touching my desk. I think you guys exist, but you don't exist. It's my imagination. There is more proof to me that that is true than anything else. And I see people like that walking around, people with no inner monologue. And it's just a shell. There's shells of people. You're a shell. There's not even a ghost in there. You might as well be a zombie. You might as well.
It's the when will AI actually take your job indicator. The researchers found a shocking trend. In 2020, GPT-3 could write an email, a task that took 15 seconds. Then, a year ago, it could fix a bug. Now, AI can code up...
Knobs Dog says, this is my life, John. I eat shit and cash checks. Can't wait till my last is out of school. And that's the thing, too, right? I mean, like, oh, I have responsibilities. I have a family to take care of. Don't talk to me like that. I have a family to take care of. Well, look, kids and stuff don't give a shit about money. They don't. They don't give a shit about money. They don't even start to get the concept until they're like later in high school. And then they're like, oh, we're poor. I didn't realize we're poor. But during their main formative years, when they're actually like, when you actually can change so much about them, they don't give two shits about money. They want you to be there. They want you to engage with them. They want you can buy them all the shit they want. And trust me, they want a lot of shit, but you don't have to. You really just have to spend time with them. But you don't. You go to a fucking shit box. You go to a shit box 8 hours a day, every single day and stuff like that. And then go off to their own little shit box. Their training shit box. Right? Where like people, they have bosses, right? And they're fucking idiots too. And they tell them, okay, sit at your desk. It's going to be the desk you're sitting at the rest of your goddamn life. You're not going to do anything here, just like you're not going to do anything there. But we expect you to be here, right? We're going to beat every living fucking idea, any idea of like a revolt or anything unique or anything that we might possibly find inconvenient or dangerous. We're going to beat that shit right out of you. Right? You are going to be shaped into a cog. Just another bit in the machine that we can easily get rid of. Because that's what's best. That's what's best. Hey, honey. Hi.
Getting dark tonight.
I'm not getting dark. I've never been dark in my life.
Oh, you're lying.
An entire app from scratch. The complexity of tasks an AI could do, completely on its own, doubled in just months. And then, a few months later, it doubled again and again. It's been doubling roughly every 7 months.
Rhea, there's a good reason why Zoomers feel that way, because it's become so efficient. It's become so perfect that the Zoomers are just walking into a meat grinder, and they know it. They're smart enough. Zoomers are just people, right? Zoomers are just people like millennials, Gen Xers, and boomers. Yes, even boomers. But boomers have this idea that they are the only people. They are the only ones to ever exist and ever work hard, ever be geniuses. My God, I've never met a boomer who didn't think they were an absolute genius. Not once in my life. They're always like, wow, look how smart I am. Check out my gigantic house. Great, dude. Great. Fucking fantastic. I've never seen a boomer that's like, oh, no, you know, I have humility and stuff. Like, I'm sure they exist. Don't get me wrong. But as a whole, they don't give a shit. They don't care. And the Zoomers are still people. They're smart enough to see that they're walking directly towards a meat grinder, and they don't want to hop in. What are they going to do? Work 80 hours a week so they can barely afford an apartment? Barely, right? No vacations, no family, no future, no retirement. That's ridiculous. No. So they're just like, no. And I completely support them. I completely support their ideas. Fuck it. Absolutely fuck it. Yes. You're doing the right thing, Zoomers. You're absolutely doing the right thing.
Since 2019, today's AIs can do tasks 100 times longer than 5 years ago. And in another 5 years, it'll be chewing through tasks 10,000 times bigger. This is a huge deal on its own. But what does it mean will happen next? You've probably heard of Moore's Law, which for decades has been perhaps the single most important force in technology. Basically, the power of computer chips consistently doubles every 1.5 to 2 years. Your iPhone has more processing power than a skyscraper-sized room of computers in the 1970s. It's exponential. And Meter has discovered a type of Moore's Law for AI, except it's 3 times faster than the original Moore's Law. Basically, GPT 5.1 can now...
And this is going to be the thing where it's replacing everybody. So, like, oh man, I feel bad for a lot of people that went to college, but honestly, it's on you. I mean, like, and not like college, like, oh, I went to college in the 70s and I had to work 3 whole shifts at McDonald's to be able to pay for it. Okay, well, okay, you do you. Right? Whatever. But like people that, oh, in 2008, I went and got my master's and then my doctorate and then a PhD in a different subject, and I'm $250,000 in debt. And no, of course I can't find a job. Doesn't matter what it's in. Doesn't matter what it's in. Can't find a job, period. Because everyone's waiting for the GPT student to come down. This guy. Also, it's just like, why pay anybody? Why pay anybody? We're going back to that whole feudalism thing where it's just like money is going to be purely nepotistic. That's it. It's going to be passed down. That's it. And so, what do you do as a Gen Zer? Well, you just paint some paintings, you make some music and stuff like that. You just try to enjoy your life. You try to have a little philosophy, right? Because you know you're not going to live in the upper echelons. That's not for you. You were born at the wrong time. It doesn't matter about your business acumen or anything like that. You were just born at the wrong time and in the wrong family. So nuts to you, sir. Nuts to you. And then a bunch of fucking news articles come out about like, why is everyone so depressed? Why is everyone giving up? Why is nobody having kids? How about you shut the fuck up, dude? How about you shut right the fuck up, dude? Those are all news stories for boomers trying to like coax their ego and being like, you're just better. You just did everything right. All these kids are lazy. All these kids are stupid. You're smart and hardworking while they sit in their gigantic fucking mansions after doing, I don't know, half a month's worth of work their entire life. Maybe sitting on a $10,000 house they bought in the 70s and turning around selling it for $2 million. Yeah, that's a lot of hard work. Oh, you're such a brilliant investor.
Do real-world software engineering tasks that take an expert human over 3 hours of work. That's more than triple what even the best models could do just 1 year ago. Drew from the future here. Actually, progress is happening even faster than when I started writing the script. Claude Opus 4.5 can do almost 5-hour-long tasks. We're now on the faster, new trend line of AI progress doubling every 4 months, as opposed to the old trend line of every 7 months. It's not slowing down.
Nav says learn how to work on AI systems. They need people to keep them running properly. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. Maybe now they do. Sure, maybe now they do. But they're going to work that problem out in 6 months. And then they won't need that. And maybe there's going to be a different problem that they work out for another 6 months. But like just to fix the problems now, you're going to need a 4-year degree and 10 years of prior experience. And so you go and you get that 4-year degree to fix this one problem. But don't worry, because that problem was fixed 3.5 years ago. And now you owe a bunch of money. And there's no job for you. So you just became a slave. What's the point of fixing problems now that by the time you actually learn to be able to fix them, they're not going to be problems? It's not that AI is going to need to be run and this is going to be a permanent thing. It's not. No. This is all going to be autonomous. A lot faster than you think it is. A lot faster.
It's the opposite. And in 2025, AI improvements started speeding up. Even after skeptics confidently declared that AI was going to slow down.
Ria says, in my opinion, my generation is just hopeless because of everything from 9/11 and the recession. Yeah, I mean, that's all I remember. I mean, like, that's 9/11 was pretty early on for me, and then the recession, I was like still a young man. And then it's just like, what now? What now? It's just, and then it just got worse from there. And then 2016 hit, and that's really when it started taking it like a dive, like a deeper dive, right? And then 4 years after that, 2020 hit, and like that was just like, okay, well, what are we even doing here? What are we even doing here, right? And then 5 years later, here we are, and then, you know, inflation's out of control, and no one can afford to do anything. And I think everyone has just thoroughly said, fuck it. Just real thoroughly. Mm-hmm. Trade jobs are needed or physical labor. Yeah, for the time being. Right now, sure. But imagine you go into an apprenticeship. I'm going to be a welder. I'm going to be a carpenter and stuff. I'm going to go into plumbing. Okay, go into plumbing. Do that. Go into welding. There's never, ever going to be a welding robot ever. You're safe for that for the next 60 years until you retire in your gigantic island mansion. Go into welding. Do that. Please, by all means. Go into welding because there will never, ever be a robot ever capable of welding or working on a car, a mechanic, or plumbing or anything. Yeah, right now, those things are moderately difficult for robots, for machines and stuff. Moderately. But in 5 years tops, it is going to be no issue. It's not going to be an issue. So what's the point, right? You go in as an apprentice welder, an apprentice carpenter, whatever, something like that. And then by the time you actually start getting paid a reasonable amount of money, you're getting replaced all over. And that's not even to mention like immigration and stuff like that. We're trying to kick people out, but how long is that going to last? Until the next administration, when they just swing open the gates again and then millions more people from the third world come flooding in? Or worse, what if there's a gigantic war? What if there's a gigantic war? That's what I would be training for. It's not like, what do you want to do with your future? It doesn't matter what I want to do with my future. Right now, I'm training to fight the robots or the Chi-Coms or the fucking Ruskies or the rest of the world. It doesn't matter right now because this is what's going to happen. There's going to be a gigantic war started by everyone. Everyone's going to be involved. And then whatever happens after that, we can rebuild from the ashes. I'll figure it out then. If I'm alive. Why do you think these billionaires are building these bunkers, right? Zuckerberg has this Hawaiian bunker. Oh, it's not a bunker. It's got, you know, 6-foot concrete walls and shit like that, and it's 40 feet in the ground. I wouldn't call it a bunker. It's really just my storage area with 30 years worth of food and like tons of hookers and a place to put the dead ones. I always want fresh hookers. Because they know. They know. They know we know, and we know they know. We know. They're obviously planning something. Every time I open my app, there's another person who died. My wife tells me, oh, you remember so-and-so? They're dead. Drop dead. Just drop dead. Right there. I do wonder where all this is coming from. It's another plan. They knew all this shit was coming down the line. They know there's too many people. They don't want everybody living in the post-labor utopia. Right? Because when you have nothing but money, when you have all the money you can possibly need, you still want more. But what more can money give you? Well, you just have to start getting rid of people. You just have to start getting rid of people.
Or stagnate. They have been saying this every year after year, and they have been wrong again and again and again. There was no wall. The numbers just keep going up. If the trend continues, AIs will be doing 8-hour-long tasks by 2026. This matters because that's a complete workday for a human worker. Then, in 2028, week-long tasks. So what does that mean for you? Well, if AI agents can actually perform week-long tasks, they'll be able to replace white-collar jobs.
Obviously, they won't be typing on computers because they are computers. So it's just gonna be computers. It's not gonna be robots typing on computers. It's just gonna be computers.
Across the entire economy. Okay, but when is this bubble supposed to pop then? Well, here's the thing. Some people see a line going up and to the right and think bubble. Stock market crash waiting to happen.
Rhea says not a physical war. You could be right, but no, there is going to be a physical war at some point. But we are in a 5th generational war now. We have been for decades. It really depends on what you consider war. But yeah, regardless, we're in it. And yeah, it has gotten physical. Just not near us yet. But it'll spread. It'll spread.
But stock prices measure investor sentiment, hype, fear, greed. They go up when people feel...
What do you think's going to happen when all these boomers die off in a few years? In a few years. Right? There's going to be a mass die-off. Like when the dinosaurs went. Like you're going to think a meteor hit because all these boomers just start popping off, right? Like Mexican jumping beans. What do you think's going to happen? You think houses are going to get cheaper because a bunch of houses are going to flood on the market and stuff like that? You think you're going to be able to buy one? You think you're going to be around? Or you think you're going to be a lot more preoccupied with, I don't know, surviving or not, just not getting killed by hunter drones? Have you guys played Arc Raiders? You know the AI in that is, it's pretty good. And it could be applied to actual drones. It would take no time at all. And the AI in that is actually toned down quite a bit because they can make those drones a lot more deadly. That's what I'm worried about. They could just have hunter drones flying around shooting people. There would be very little people could do to stop them. Not nothing, but they would get a lot of people first.
Feel optimistic and crash when reality disappoints. But technology curves measure reality, not feelings, capability, physics.
What's Arc Raiders? It's ARC Raiders. Arc Raiders is a game. It's a good game. You should play it.
Outlaw didn't pop after 50 years. Chip power kept doubling because the physics allowed it. The meter trend isn't measuring hype. It's measuring what AI can actually do. Bubble
Freeside said more like gay raiders, right guys? Right guys? Nobody's with you. Nobody's with you.
implies bullshit, fake. But this isn't fake. This is real exponential progress in economically valuable work. So this is the current plan of the AI companies. Optimistically, they claim they'll take your job. Pessimistic
comment says Big B, WWE3 will be taking place for 25 years. Maybe. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to take that long. No, I don't think. I mean, it depends on what you consider World War III. I mean, yes, if you want to consider, we started back in like 2001. Then it could take 25 years, but like the real precipice, it's not going to take that long. When people start dying from like nukes, and it's not going to take that long. It'll take months, maybe months.
Realistically, they say they might destroy the world, and it doesn't stop there. Keep going, we get
maybe a couple of days. That'll suck, right? Just a couple of days, and then like 2/3 of the world is just dead. That would suck.
month-long tasks, then year-long tasks. Imagine accomplishing a year's worth of work in your job in just a few days.
You haven't played video games since Perfect Dark for the N64. I played that game. I played Perfect Dark.
AI agents will run at 100 to 200 times human speed. So we take a month to accomplish what they will do in an hour. They can.
Oh, that is what you said. It's been happening since 2001. Oh, it has been taking place for. Oh, I thought you said it was going to be taking. Okay. Now I understand. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah, you're probably right.
Read an entire book in seconds. Can you? They can write.
What are you gonna do? Make John do what? What the fuck?
An entire book in 1 minute. Can you? Now imagine that for everything. I mean, this is how we look like to AIs. We're as slow as statues. What happens when you can leave the AIs alone for 3 days? And in that time, they accomplish what a human-run company would take an entire year to achieve. And most importantly, what happens when they...
When are they gonna make the sex robots? When are they gonna start making the sex robots? When are the sex robots gonna be coming out? I know they're coming out. I know they have the real dolls and stuff like that, but those are unconvincing. The sex robots are coming, and they're probably gonna be good.
Start rapidly self-improving and making stronger AIs. AIs making...
I owe Renee a thing. Oh, I do, don't I? Is she here? Renee's? Yeah, she's here. What do you want, Renee's?
Stronger AIs isn't hypothetical. It's already happening.
Not something that fucking YouTube is gonna pop me on, dude, because they have been relentless. They have been absolutely relentless on me, dude. Just like, and you appeal, and they're like, I don't give a fuck what you appeal, even though it's completely legal what I'm doing, 100%. They're like, fuck you all, fuck you. Oh, and then what do? I'm like, oh, okay. No, nothing I can do.
We'll come back to that. Now here's what confuses most people about AI progress.
All my ideas will get you kicked off YouTube, yeah.
Exponential curves I just showed you are real, but they hide something critical.
I know they don't like me, Farrell. I understand they don't like me. I know. And it's just like, why? I'm such a nice person. I don't know why people don't like me. I don't get it, dude. Like, when am I going to be accepted? I'm so, I don't know why people don't like me. I don't. Everyone's so hostile towards me. Why is everyone so hostile towards me? I'm not mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I don't think I am mean. I think I'm a perfectly nice person. I don't know why everyone's so fucking hostile towards me.
AI advancement is jagged. Here's what that means. Take the GPQA benchmark. PhD level questions that you can't just Google. 1 year ago, AI models could answer 60%
I dislike the stream for that accusation.
of these questions. Today, they're approaching 90%. That's better than the human experts themselves on graduate level science questions. But at the same time...
Okay, you go to grad school, right? You go to grad school. And then you come out and you're like, okay, I got a lot of debt, but no problem. I'm highly qualified. I'm sure there's no problem. I'll get a job right away. And you're right, because you can go Uber Eats. You can do that. You're not unemployed. You do Uber Eats. No problem. Now, is it the $250,000 a year you thought you'd be getting with your master's, your triple master's degree and stuff like that, and flying around the world to bang beautiful women? No, it's not. You're going to be doing Uber Eats, and then you're going to be buried in a mountain of debt. A mountain of debt. Because no one promised you a job. You bought yourself an education. Congratulations, but no one promised you a job after that. A lucrative living. You're dumb, right? Now AI is just doing all your job, doing your work, right?
AI still make embarrassing mistakes that no human would make. AI progress deniers love sharing these mistakes, but actually many of these are outdated and no longer accurate. Like AI can't draw hands or count R's in strawberry. And journalists fall for it.
It's been a long time since it could do that now. That's no problem. I haven't seen the finger thing in a long time, right? You know how it makes like too many fingers or too many arms. I haven't seen that for a while. The strawberry thing, that was years ago. I mean, maybe not years ago, but even if it was 6 months ago, that's years in this timeline. That shit's over.
Constantly. They'll publish articles titled, "What AI Still Can't Do," based on research that's years out of date.
Suck a cock. I imagine it can't suck cock. So, hey, if you want to get into that line of work, the cock-sucking line of work, you're going to have business for a while, which is still maybe 5 years. It's the same as like the plumbers and stuff. I mean, if you want to be a plumber and stuff, it's just you have to be an apprentice and stuff. And you could be an apprentice to a cocksucker. Follow him around and be like, and he like teaches you how to do it. He's like, you got to cup the balls. Squeeze them, right? And right as they're come, you just ring it and then you pull it down, right? Call it pulling down on the bell. You'll be making a living.
By the time it clears peer review, the public sees these headlines and thinks progress has stalled, but it hasn't. So what explains this paradox? 5 years ago, the AI GPT-3 was a fun toy. And
BRB, if I'm gone for a while, Colt, I love you, says Rhea. We're not going to see Rhea ever again. That's probably what's going to happen.
It was barely useful for the tasks of a human job. Then 3 years ago,
Liberty says, what these AI people don't look at is it sits now. It would take 10,000 years to mine enough copper to build the AI centers they have planned. There is only one transformer plant in the U.S. Yeah, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Yeah, like the data centers and stuff like that, sure. And there's also any energy constraints, but like these things don't matter. Right, well, the AI is going to figure out a way around it. It's going to figure out a better source of energy or need not as much energy. It's going to optimize the shit out of itself. All of these plants are probably not going to be necessary. I would highly doubt it. These are just more things. These are more things saying, oh, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's happening. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen in the timeline that nobody thought was going to happen, right? There's not going to be AI data centers in space, okay? There's plenty of data centers right now. Everybody on the planet has a computer, for God's sakes. It's not an issue. It's not an issue now. It just needs to optimize itself. It needs to use its resources more effectively, and that shouldn't be a problem whatsoever. I guarantee you, this is not going to be an issue. There's not going to be constraints like energy. There's not going to be constraints like not enough data centers, not enough computing, not any of that. It'll be fine. It'll work with what it's got, and it'll still be fast as hell.
ChatGPT and GPT-4 came out, and the AI could help you in some tasks. like marketing or basic coding. And now, the AI has a jagged frontier. Sometimes it's amazing, sometimes it's dumb. But the next step, the AI is unbelievably intelligent, but for some reason it fails at obvious things. And here's why this progression matters. Every AI capability starts at 0. Then, with more compute, more data, better algorithms, it crosses a threshold, and suddenly, AI can do something it couldn't do before. The capability goes from impossible to reliable, seemingly overnight. This is the reason why the godfathers of AI and so many researchers are terrified that their invention might cause literal human extinction. It's because scaling computing power just works.
Finally, am I right, guys? Finally. God, dude, we've seen so many movies from like James Cameron and like other fucking people that are like, oh, the world's gonna end. We're gonna have to fight the machines and stuff like that. Okay, fine, we'll do it. I think we've all planned on doing this. We've all planned on fighting the machines or fighting the aliens, and like, guess what? We got them both now. Trump says, Obama says, yeah, we got aliens, and then Trump's like, yeah, he's not supposed to say that. That shit's classified. Well, why did you say that? Why did you say that shit was classified? You couldn't have just said, oh, he's just a fucking crazy... He's just a fucking moon cricket. What do you want listening to him for? No, dude. No, he's all like, he shouldn't have said that. That's classified. Why would it be classified unless it was true? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit about aliens. I don't care. Okay? If they are here, they don't want anything to do with us. And I don't care. I'm just going to keep doing if like they start like showing up and like pushing me around and stuff like that, that's a different story. Of course, right? They like they abduct my dog, I'm going to be pissed about that. But like if they're just around and they're not bothering anybody for the most part, why would I care? Why would I give a shit about that? Don't be like this. We all know this is a gigantic thing to just cover up the Epstein files, right? I still kind of doubt there might be aliens, there might not. It doesn't matter. You're just doing this to cover up the Epstein files. That's what you're doing, right? Most of us aren't ever going to see an alien. IRL, even if they are real, which I have my doubts. I have my extreme doubts. But like, you're doing that right now because you're getting too much pressure from the Epstein thing. That's what you're doing. That's why you're doing it. And you're going to release the files, and then people are going to be like, oh my God, aliens are real. Okay, great. Fuck off. Give us the files. Give us the Epstein files. No one gives a shit about aliens. No one gives a shit about aliens. Do you? I don't. I absolutely don't. How is that going to change my life in the least bit? Are they going to make rent go down? Are they going to do anything? No? Then who gives a shit? Who gives a flying fuck? An unidentified flying fuck. That's what you should call them. UFFs. Who gives a UFF about it? Farrell for a $5. She says 29. Okay. Let's see. Come on, internet. It's the aliens. It's slowing my internet down. It's not just Epstein. Aliens are faking gay. I want to kill the demons on Earth. Yeah. I mean, it could be completely fake. I would not be surprised if it was all made up. I mean, you gotta think when the government starts telling you things, you have to take it with an absolute grain of salt. That's what it's a 20, by the way. Thank you, Farrell. You gotta take that with an absolute grain of salt. If the government's like, you know what, aliens are real. Well, now I don't believe it. I believed it before. I have like I want to believe posters, and I watch the X-Files every goddamn night. This is a joke. I didn't do that, and I don't have that. But I was really on board, and then you said it's real, and I'm like, ah! Damn it. How disappointing. Because the government has only lied to us in our lifetime. Maybe it was different for the boomers. I mean, they're the ones running the government, right? It's still boomers in office, right? So, maybe boomers lying to boomers is a difference. But the boomers don't have a problem lying to millennials or Gen Z or anything like that. They absolutely do not have a problem lying to us. They think we're lesser than them. So, like, if my parents start freaking out and saying there's actually aliens and stuff like that, I'll be like, okay. Okay, fine. Whatever. I'm just tired of it, dude. I'm fucking tired of it.
For a long time, professional AI skeptics have been saying that the scaling pre-training paradigm is dead. Basically, the idea that you couldn't grow increasingly smarter AIs by throwing more text data and computing power at them. He has been saying
13th says, I'm not gay, guys. Get over it. You shouldn't have to say that.
Year after year, and has been proven wrong year after year. The Jagged Frontier doesn't...
Not those aliens, knobs, dog. Everyone knows those aliens are annoying, but they're not difficult to deal with unless we just do nothing. Which we're doing is absolutely nothing. No, not the Rio Grande wetback aliens. No one gives a shit about them. I mean, we do, but everybody in government has decided we're not going to stop them because it's a lot easier to control 10 million Mexicans flowing. I kind of doubt the whole alien thing. I really do. I doubt it. They're gonna say it's real. They're all probably just working in conjunction. I fucking doubt it. I think they're lying. I'm like pretty damn sure they're lying. Again.
Mean AI is hitting limits. It means we're watching new capabilities unlock day by day as compute scales. And the godfathers of AI understand what comes next. We're not building mere tools anymore. We're building things we might not be able to control. But here's what most people don't understand. The meter graph isn't an outlier. It's the pattern. Chart after chart after chart shows the same exponential trend. Physics benchmark.
13 says, boomers have no problem lying in general. That generation, sorry, fucked everything up for us. They were pussies when it mattered. Well, yeah. Well, look, they really cared about themselves. They cared about themselves a lot. They really thought everything was for them, and nobody told them otherwise because they were such a big generation, and they basically were released onto a field of gold and didn't think to save anybody for the rest of humanity. So they were just yeah, let's just make it for us. This is all for us. And they kind of fucked everybody over. And they don't care. They don't care. They don't care if they screw their kids over. They don't care if they screw their grandkids over. They don't give a shit. They got theirs. They're happy. You try to explain to them anything whatsoever. It doesn't matter about current economics. It doesn't matter. You can talk to them about quantum computing. They're not going to fucking give a shit. They already know more than you. Or at least they think that way. And they're not going to fucking think any other way. They're brick walls. They're brick walls. Every time you try to bring up any sort of point, they're going to point to their house and be like, look how big my house is. That's what matters. My gigantic house. They're lost. They're a lost generation. We should forget about them as quickly as possible. All right? They don't exist. In my mind, they might as well be dead. They don't exist. They're no longer here. Okay? Now we have to start fixing the problems. And they are in the way, of course. Right? So we just have to remove them. They are standing in the way of a problem. And they won't be long. Right? honestly, you might just want to just like let them have it. Let them have it. They've got a few good years left. Maybe. Let them have it. Let them go out, with the pride of, well, not accomplishing anything. They didn't really accomplish much. But, like, it was just a wash. The entire generation was just a wash. There's nothing you can do about it, okay? You just have to let them go out. There's no saving them. That's what I'm saying. There's no saving them. There's no being like, no. So they're just going to die and being like, I'm the best. And they're going to keel over, right? And then they're going to be like, bury my stuff with me. A lot of bury my stuff with me. It's all that mattered.
Chemistry, biology, math, coding. In almost every domain we can measure, AI is doubling in capability every 4 to 7 months. Just sit with that for a second. It's not just coding, it's everything. But
yeah, no, I get it, you guys. They're not going to live that long. Every time I look at my phone, there's like a 52-year-old or like a 45-year-old that croaks, right? They just fucking drop dead and stuff. And those boomers, they all got that shot, dude. They all got it. Because they were terrified of death. And if I was a boomer, I'd be terrified of death too. One, your life is awesome. It's always been easy. You get to pretend like you actually achieved something and you just sit around your gigantic castle doing stuff. Go on amazing vacations and shit like that. And two, this depends on your theological beliefs. I don't think they're going to the best place afterwards. That's just me. And if I was a boomer and stuff, I would really want to hang on to this world. Because it seems like it would be better than the next one. So yeah, when that whole COVID, I can't even say the word. When that whole thing came around back in 2019, of course they were going to get the shot. Of course they were going to get it. Because they need to be here. Right? This is where they want to be. This is where they're happy. And so now that shit's like coming home, dude. The cows are coming home.
Here's the question skeptics always ask. Exponential growth can't last forever. Eventually it has to plateau, right? And they might point to this meme about a baby.
Freeside says, sorry guys, I had a 12% beer and I don't really drink anymore. And this has fired me up. Good. You need to feel the fire. Feel that fire. Good. You need to be angry. Actually get something done. Because we can't just leave it like this. We can't just leave it like this. There's really no gold left on the streets for us, right? We actually have to like do shit. We have to fix the problems that were created. That falls on us, right? There's two types of generations. There's more, but just hang with me. There's the harvesting generation, and then there's the sowing generation, right? I guess there's a third generation that just kind of waits around. But, boomers were the harvesters. They took all the good parts of society and kept it for themselves. And they're rich and they're happy and they're successful, if you want to call it that. But they didn't leave anything for anybody else, right? They just took it all for themselves, and they're like, I got mine. And the Gen Xers just kind of fucking were like, what? Some of them got okay. Some of the Gen Xers are doing okay. But then the millennials came around. We have nothing. We have to start sowing crops, right? We have to start sowing crops. A lot of Gen Z are going to be a part of that. And, the work has to be done now. That's it. It's just the work has to be done now. Rhea, 11. She wants 11. Okay. For a $5. Let's see. It's 15. Thanks for playing with you. 13 says, yeah, you needed a shot to get your breakfast on Tuesday at 9 a.m. Damn boomers. There's two types of people. The boomers definitely wanted the shot because they're like, I want to live. Look in my life. I want to live. I want to go see Antarctica for the third time. And then there's the people who like, I have a mortgage to pay. If I don't get this shot, I'm going to lose my job and my family becomes homeless. So that sucks. That sucks pretty hard. I didn't get the shot, as you probably have figured out. Because I'm not fucking retarded. And if you had to get the shot, I'm sorry, with that much societal pressure, you must have thought something was up, right? The government doesn't put pressure on like that for something that's good for you. They never have. They never have. So when they start pushing, everyone needs to line up. Everyone line up. No, I'm not getting in that line. No thanks. No thank you. And I know that people have gone, yeah, I'm getting my third booster today. I just like getting them. I think I'm addicted to getting boosters now. Okay. That seems remarkably unwise. That seems like so, all right. Hold on. Let's establish the timeline here. A deadly flu came out. Around a year later, less than a year later, they solved that with this miracle vaccine that changes your DNA, by the way. No human testing, none of the FDA, 10 years of human trials, none of that. None of that. They're just like, did that shit perfectly. Send it. And then you're going for seconds? You're going in for seconds? I'm sorry, I understand the first one where you gotta like pay your fucking mortgage and shit. You gotta take you got a family. I get that, dude. But you're going in for seconds and thirds sometimes? Are you insane? Are you retarded? You must be retarded. It's retarded. It's being retarded. That's you being retarded. That's what a retard would do. That is full retard. You cannot be more retarded than that. That's fucking retarded.
My 3-month-old son is now twice as big as when he was born. He's on track to weigh 7.5 trillion pounds by age 10. Obviously ridiculous. Growth curves flatten. So why should we believe that AI is different? Here's why. The baby meme is based on just 2 data points. If you zoom in on the baby's actual growth curve, you'd see it's already...
Rhea says the vax was being worked on, but the scientists didn't agree to give it to the masses due to minimal evidence from what I read. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Look, dude, they had that shit planned. They had that shit before. Come on. It was a gigantic plan. It's a fucking gigantic plan, dude. I don't care what anybody says. I am a conspiracy theorist. All right? I believe in the conspiracy theories. Some of them, not all of them. That one, come on. I definitely believe that was a conspiracy. And I believe what they tell. I believe it was I believe, how do I say this nicely? I believe it was population engineering. The population is it's a wee bit too big. And then they're all like, how do we lower the population? But how are we going to get 5 billion people to take a shot? That's what they got, 5 billion people. 5 billion people. Even if they knew, even if it wasn't a conspiracy, even if it was all above board and everything checked out and this was a serious emergency situation, you wouldn't give it to 5 billion people just in case. Just in case somebody forgot to carry the one, okay? You wouldn't, because that would be extremely, extremely irresponsible. You wouldn't give it to 5 billion people. But, oh no, we're sure this 100% works. No problems whatsoever. We're going to give it to 5 billion people. You don't do that. You don't do that unless you have one very specific goal.
Tapering. And the meter trend is based on 15 data points across 6 years.
Rhea says, John, the world isn't overpopulated, just to billionaires it is. I agree. I completely agree with you.
And the curve isn't flattening. In fact, it's accelerating. In 2024 to 2025, the doubling time dropped from 7 months to 4 months. That's much faster than Moore's law. And Gordon Moore made his observation in
4 months. It dropped to 4 months in 2017. So like, and that's going to continue to drop to like 2 months, right? So every 2 months, the AI power is going to double. And then, I don't know, maybe in 2027, 2028, it'll drop to like 1 month. And maybe the year after that, it'll drop to like every couple weeks. And then maybe a year after that, it'll drop to 1 week. But it'll even, so like the year after that, it'll be like every day is going to double in power. So in maybe 4 years, 4 short years, every single day, the AI will get twice as powerful. Every day. You go to sleep, you wake up, it's a whole new world. You go to sleep again, you wake up, there's fucking time travel and shit, and people are teleporting places. You wake up, you go to sleep, you wake up, and the sun is no longer there. They've used it to make Comptronium. It is now a giant computer. That's the world that we will be living in. Well, some of us. Maybe 2 billion.
65, based on only a handful of data points, while Meter have 15 data points. It's actually a far better supported trend. And the question is...
There was actually an article about how, you know how like math works, right? Newtonian physics. We can predict a lunar eclipse thousands of years out into the future, right? Because that's just how it works, right? We know exactly how the moon rotates and gravity and physics. We can predict all the way back in time when there would be lunar eclipses, right? It's just a very stable system. So AI actually calculated that there would be a lunar eclipse, and I think the year 2185, maybe later or something like that. But it predicted another eclipse a long time from now, and it gave it an 85% chance. And then people were confused why it predicted an 85% chance of an eclipse, because it ran some other simulations and said, well, there might be a 15% chance that the moon no longer exists by then. What? What do you mean by that? What do you mean the moon will no longer exist by then? Well, people might use it as a spaceship. It might have been blown up in a war. It might be used for fuel. It might be used for all types. It might be a giant computer, right? It might not be there anymore. That's just it. That's the crux of the thing, man. It's there now. It might not be there. There's roughly a 15% chance that thing ain't going to stay. Well, that's a pretty good chance it's not going to go. I mean, so you're telling me like, so it's going to go somewhere? Yeah, there's a chance. Decent chance. That shit's going to go somewhere. That's a fucking scary prediction. Because then what happens when you don't have a moon? You don't have tides. I actually don't know what happens when you don't have a moon. I don't. Do girls' periods just go all wonky? I have no idea. I know you don't have tides.
Whether exponential growth can't happen. The question is, where does it stop? Well, here's the part that keeps researchers awake at night. In 2024, researchers surveyed thousands of AI scientists. On average, they estimated a 16% chance that AI causes human extinction. 1 in 6. Literal Russian roulette odds. And the CEO of Anthropic's probability that AI causes human extinction has risen to 25%. Reminder, this is normal in AI. And no, he's not just creating hype. That's just wrong. Sorry. He gets only hate for admitting this. Nobody wants to hear this. And he's been saying things like this before starting the company. This is a widespread belief in AI, even among professors and scientists with no...
It will reach singularity at some point. It will eventually become aware and begin to reproduce itself. I don't even think a lot of people are aware. I don't think people are self-aware. I don't think a lot of people are self-aware. Right? Remember the entire NPC rant I went on earlier? I don't know if a lot of humans are self-aware. And if you want to, like, if self-awareness to you is having that inner monologue, then AI is self-aware now. Okay? With a certain amount of complexity, a certain amount of awareness and self-awareness and awareness of your world, it's like a graph, right? So we could easily say that AI is self-aware now. It's going to get down to some weird philosophical conversation, right? But it is probably self-aware now. I don't see why it wouldn't be self-aware now. And some people are going to be like, it's not self-aware, not like us humans. I don't think people are self-aware, man. There's a lot of people out there that are fucking automatons. They're just robots. There's external stimuli, and then they respond to that. That's it. Like, this robot actually has to think about shit. They don't. They fill their Stanley cups, and they go work in the HR department. That's not the same thing, man. That is not the same thing. Some people are absolutely self-aware, but I would say that's a minority of people.
Financial incentives. It's not just executives. Think about that. Can you name another time in history when the inventors of a technology warned it might destroy humanity while they were still building it? Would you get on a plane if the designer said it had a 25% chance of exploding midair? Except it's not.
Well, I mean, if it's Boeing with their DEI hires, then that's probably roughly true, right? You get like an African mechanic who leaves a wrench in the engine, then it's going down, right? It is not my fault. The wrench. Okay, yeah.
Not just you on that plane, it's everyone forced to board. Once AI can automate month-long or year-long coding tasks, it can automate AI research itself, self-improving AI. Sam Altman used to call this...
Arden Share says, I think AI isn't new. Like, it's been writing historical narratives for some time, like 1950s. So that's like the entire Dr. House theory, huh? You're going with a Dr. House theory that AI has been running the society, the civilization for 70, 75 years now. Well, that's a theory. That's a theory. I mean, the government and the military are usually 20 to 25 years ahead of the private sector. I don't know if that tracks with like computing and AI as well, because I mean, there's so many resources that need to be put into AI, but it could still be. It could still be. They are more advanced, right? There's classified projects that are more advanced. I just don't know how much more advanced they are than the private companies. It's weird. We're getting to a weird world where it's like it's all kind of the same. So, but a couple of years, I think. I mean, this year it's going to be game changing. I mean, you're probably going to get fired. Most of you are going to get fired. I'll still be here. I'll be talking to you. I'll be cracking jokes, and I'll be spreading doom and gloom. I'll be complaining about boomers and women for a long time. So don't worry about me. Okay? I'm worried about you guys. I need you guys to have jobs. I need you guys to have income.
It's really scary because things could get out of control very quickly. Now, OpenAI is explicitly racing toward it. Microsoft AI CEO Mustafa Suleyman says we should never do this. It's too likely to cause extinction. Right now, there are only a few.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is likely to cause. Look, I hate this fucking argument. Yeah, it is pretty likely to cause extinction. Like a 25% chance, like you said. It's pretty likely. That don't matter. Nah, that don't matter. Nope. You know why? It's because China's developing it, Russia's developing it, everybody else is developing it. Everybody out there is developing it because they know they're going to be godlike superhumans, super beings, and they're going to be able to control the world, right? That amount of power is it's too alluring, right? If you're in power and somebody else is vying for that power, and you both know this is the way to have absolute power, what are you going to do? Give up and be like, no, this is bad for mankind? No, that's stupid. Of course not. No, you're both going to, you would rather rule over the ashes than be deposed and not, these are evil people we're talking about. Sam Altman is an evil person. He's a homosexual. That goes without saying.
Few thousand AI researchers at the frontier. Those few thousand people drove the progress we saw on the meter graph.
Is that why YouTube doesn't like me? Huh, YouTube? Huh? Because I say homosexuals are evil at heart? Huh?
But with AI agents, they could soon be outnumbered 100 to 1. And these
because the Dow is at 50K, like that fucking matters, dude. Like the fucking Dow matters. That's all bullshit. That's all fake. That's all fucking fake, man. It's number. Oh, look, we're all rich. No, we're not. Are we? Are we all rich? It don't feel like that. It feels like the opposite, sir. We don't feel rich. No one's rich. When you can't afford rent, or you can't afford food, or you can't afford to open a business, or you can't afford to pursue your dreams like a proper American should. Honestly, it's in the Constitution. You should be able to pursue happiness, right? But if you can't afford to, you can't afford to. It's just that's the economy we live in. Don't matter what the fucking Dow is at. Fuck that, dude. Fuck that Dow. What has that Dow ever done for me? What has the S&P ever done for me? What about the NASDAQ? More like NASDAQ. Fuck all that shit. That's pointless boomer shit. That's boomer slop right there. All those fucking numbers on the screen. Oh, it's a red day. Oh, it's a green day, everybody. That's boomer slop. That's boomer. It has nothing to do with us. It's not ours. It has nothing to do with us. I don't even think it's all that real. I think it's all manipulated. It's all false reports and bullshit. Fuck that noise. Fuck the stock market. Fuck all those people in the stock market. Fuck that noise.
These AI agents will work 100 times faster. And Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, says Claude is now writing 90% of the code at Anthropic.
Arden Chaya says, Knobs, for you surface dwellers, those with EMP protection will be gods. So am I going to have to make some sort of Faraday cage? Put copper netting around my house or something like that, just in case a EMP goes off. And then, oh, I still have my iPhone. Oh, shit, there's no service. Ah, right. Ah, right. Oh. I still have my iPhone. No bars.
He was mocked for predicting this 6 months ago. AIs went from writing 0 to most of the code in a few years. AI is already writing code that's good enough to replace junior programmers. Dario Amodei thinks it could soon wipe out 50% of entry-level white-collar jobs. How much longer until it starts replacing senior employees, too? But you may ask, AI progress has to flatten out sometime, right? Or, well, every exponential is actually a sigmoid. Yes, but we don't know where the danger threshold is. It could be here, or here, or here. We're climbing a curve in the fog, and we have no idea which step leads to systems we can't control. This brings us to the original question. Are we in a bubble?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we're in a bubble. Bubbles don't mean anything. I mean, they do. They absolutely do, right? The nature of a bubble is that it pops. Okay, that's the point of a bubble. That's what a bubble means. That it is going to pop. If it never pops, it's not a bubble, right? That's what they're trying to engineer. They're trying to engineer a bubble that will never pop. Will they be able to do it? I mean, it's not out of the question. All AI has to do is increase revenue exponentially forever. Which sounds impossible. I understand that sounds impossible. But it might not be. It sounds ridiculous. It really does. It sounds absolutely fucking stupid ridiculous. But it might not be. But the problem here is, if it does that, there's going to be a race of like superhumans, like some sort of Elysium type society. And a lot of them are going to be boomers, right? Living in this Elysium type society where they're like, covered in gold. You've seen the AI videos, and they're like, oh, we have to eliminate the pores. The Gen Alphas, the Gen Betas, the Gen Charlies and stuff like that. The millennials have been gone for a while, by the way. And then it's just going to be the boomers and the people who aren't rich enough yet to achieve eternal life. That's the world that will be achieved with this. Is that not terrifying to you? It is the boomers who are rich enough to achieve eternal life, and then everyone born after 1985 that will never achieve eternal life because they're just not rich enough. They can never gain enough money to actually have access to this technology.
Here's what's strange. Every few months for the past 5 years, AI skeptics have declared the same thing. This time, it's over. Scaling is dead. The bubble is about to pop. Jan LeCun predicted AI would lack a basic understanding of physics.
I believe in grounded intelligence. I don't think we can train a machine to be intelligent purely from text. So for example...
That guy's fucking boring. This jerk off is fucking boring. I think he's retarded. Is this guy retarded? Just because you put on a suit and you actually have access to some pretty smart people doesn't make your podcast interesting. Are you retarded, sir?
For example, I take an object.
Is he autistic?
I put it on the table and I push the table. It's completely obvious to you that the object will be pushed with the table, right? There's no text in the world, I believe, that explains this. And so if you train a machine as powerful as it could be, your GPT 5000 or whatever it is, it's never going to learn about this. That information is just not present in any text.
Yet just 1 year later, GPT 3.5 could explain this exactly. What he confidently said would never happen.
Loser. Skunked.
Actually happened just 1 year later.
John, you should wear a suit to Daywave and not acknowledge it. Okay, I can do that. Yeah, no problem. That would actually be funny. And that way other John would be like, what's this dickhead wearing a suit for? And I'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, back to actual jokes, John.
And much of Jan's premise is that AI can't be dangerous because it'll be like this super smart, obedient staff member that they simply won't give agency to. Basically, he believes AI won't have the ability to do long-term planning and have self-direction. And yeah, here's a benchmark where you can see just how much more agency AIs have been getting. Here's what makes skeptics so persuasive. When you're talking about world-changing technology, the skeptic always sounds more reasonable. One side says, this will change everything. The other says, come on, nothing ever happens. You can't just make the model bigger and expect it to keep getting smarter forever. There has to be a ceiling. The second person sounds rational, grounded, but that's not evidence.
I think I'm in both camps, depending on who you are. Yes, this will be groundbreaking and change everything, but it also will change nothing, and nothing ever happens. It depends on where you are now. Do you have access to resources? Do you own lots of what is it, assets? Do you own a lot of things? Then yeah, it's going to be world changing for you. If you don't, then you're still going to be poor forever.
Survive. So let's look at the actual.
Sucks, don't it? Sucks. That sucks. Wow, you're gonna be poor forever? Wow. That sucks, dude. But not forever. You're gonna die eventually. But the people who are rich, they're not gonna die. They're gonna be rich forever. You're gonna be poor for like 80 years tops. Maybe. You're not gonna be able to retire either. You might not be born.
Track record. People like Gary Marcus and Jan LeCun have been predicting the death of scaling since 2019. Practically every year, they say it's finally hitting the wall. Every year, they're wrong. The just make it bigger approach has worked across 15 orders of magnitude. That's one of the most consistent trends.
Let's just make it bigger. And what are humans? Humans are really good at a lot of stuff, but making stuff bigger, that is our fucking bread and butter, dude. Making shit bigger, we can do that. We can do that all fucking day. Make shit bigger? Yeah. Look at buildings. We had tiny little mud huts at one point. And then over the years, not Africa, but like Europeans and stuff like that, over the years, we're like, we can do it. We can make it bigger. And then they just kept getting bigger. And now they're huge. Now they're fucking huge. Right? Again, not Africa. Africa didn't play the game. Never, ever will. Let's get that straight. There's not a bunch of engineers coming from Africa.
Technology.
Every few years they say neural nets are overhyped and it's all about to come crashing down and stop. And they've been wrong every time. And I think they'll continue to be wrong.
I mean, AI can code entire websites from scratch, write hit songs, and win art competitions.
Wakanda? What about Wakanda? Wakanda doesn't exist. I have to explain this to black people on Twitter. Wakanda is not a real place. It's not a real place. It is a work of fiction. And they don't understand the two words work or fiction. So it's very difficult to explain it to them.
But a common sticking point for people is that it still makes mistakes.
I'm sorry, it's a what of what?
For example, there are papers coming out like AI has passed the music Turing test, 0 media coverage. And headlines like, over the past 4 weeks, a new AI creation.
I'm sorry, it's a food stamps of trifling. Oh.
has debuted on a Billboard chart in each week. People see 6 months go by without a revolutionary change in their personal workflow and declare, see, it's plateauing. The bubble is popping. This is AI amnesia. We're incapable
it doesn't live
how
anywhere.
limited these systems were just months or years ago. 2 years ago, it was hard to imagine that models were going to do grade school math. They couldn't do the most basic problem.
Black Panther was not a documentary. That was not a documentary at all. That was I didn't see that film, but I imagine it was bad. So yeah.
It was actually alarming. People forget. If you told experts.
Knob says, John, it's an island of super smart, superhuman black people, obvi. No, it is a complete fabrication.
In 2020.
But I seen it. Yeah. So what you saw was called a movie, which was on a screen. That's not a window. It's not a window, right? It's not on the other side. They're trying to climb through it. Like the chick from The Ring, they're trying to climb through the TV.
That AI could do all that, they'd laugh you out of the room. Pure science fiction. Now it's normal. And because it's normal, people assume progress has stopped. But
My TV's broke.
data tells a different story.
First of all, it's not your TV. You stole that TV from Rent-A-Center.
AI isn't slowing down. It's
Okay, I'll stop. All right, I'll stop. But Wakanda is not a real place.
accelerating. But if you were paying attention and following the trend lines, you could have predicted this is where we're heading. Ten years ago, before ChatGPT existed, Tim Urban wrote an article predicting where we'd be today. If you'd invested $3,000 in NVIDIA after reading it, you'd
Art
be
Insurance says black people invented AI supposedly. Found out yesterday. Okay, well then maybe they can explain to us how to properly control it. Ask them. Ask them about the black box problem and alignment and like all the things that we're having problems. Because that's the issue, right? We can create AI. We just don't know how to control it. We don't know how to control something smarter than us. So ask them and then see what they say. If you created it, you must have advanced knowledge about how to control this superhuman being. Please do enlighten me.
a millionaire right now. He started with this graph, human progress over time. What does it feel like?
Are you going to send me an article that's going to make me fucking piss my pants laughing? Is that what you're going to do, Ardenshire? Is that what you're going to do? My internet has been dick lately. Probably attacks or something. Akon City. Tumbleweed rolls through sight of rapper's Wakanda-inspired dream. Oh, no. Oh. This is what it was gonna be. And Akon, you say, the rapper. He was going to start a city, and they built, this is all they built, I imagine, and then they completely abandoned the project. I'm going to go ahead and I just already know. This is the only building they built. This is what was supposed to be built. That's the... Okay. And, yeah, it didn't go anywhere. It didn't go... Absolutely, that was it. And they they abandoned it. And then that's out there. Okay. That's it. Am I right? Farrell says, see, it was a documentary. You got me. I'm hold on, let me see if this is actually a playable video. It's not. Nope. So they made this website too, huh? Great.
Here, right? Living on the steep part of an exponential curve. But here's the thing. When you're on a time graph, you can't actually see what's to your right. So this is how it actually feels. Normal. Completely normal. Tim Urban explains it with a thought experiment. Imagine you take George Washington from 1750 and bring him to 2025.
1750 was not that long ago, 265 years ago. Everything always was in a blackout. It was a blackout all the time. There was no electricity. There were no light bulbs. There's obviously no way to transport yourself other than horse and boat. Almost nothing that's cool about today existed then. So if you brought him here and he saw cars zooming down the highway and he saw the internet and he saw the iPhone, and you told him about the International Space Station, and you told him about relativity, and you told him about airplanes. You can go on and on and on. I think that it would be such a big shock that I don't think that he would just be mind blown or surprised. I think he would die. How long do you have to go into the future in order to die from how surprised you are about the progress they've made? And I've called that a die progress unit, DPU.
But let's say George Washington got jealous and wanted to do the same thing. Shock someone from the past by bringing them to his time.
And he says, okay, you know what? I'm taking the time machine. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to get Da Vinci. Because he was 48 years old in the year 1500. About the same problem. He's like, I'm going to go back a DPU of my own. I'm going to get Da Vinci. I'm going to bring him back here and watch him die. The problem is If you did that, Da Vinci would be surprised. I mean, he would be taken aback with, there'd be some mind-bending stuff about space and physics, for example, the telescope and a lot of things like that. It would be cool for Da Vinci. I don't think he would die. That's not enough. It's not the same.
If Washington wanted to find someone who would die of shock at being brought to 1750,
he would have to go all the way back to before the agricultural revolution, back like 12,000 years ago. If you got someone from then, someone who had just lived as a hunter-gatherer, before the agricultural revolution, there weren't really cities. So sometime before large groups of people even gathered together. You brought him to 1750, and you showed him these towering churches and ships that could cross the ocean, and all the things like that. I think that person may collapse and die. So at that point, the DPU, going back, is you need a lot more time to create a DPU.
And to find someone who would be amazed by what humans had in 12,000 BC, you'd have to go back to 100,000 BC, before we discovered fire and language. During hunter-gatherer times, the first DPU was over 100,000 years. During the agricultural revolution, the next DPU was over 10,000 years. During the Industrial Revolution, the next DPU was 250 years. And following that trend, the next DPU might be only a decade or two away. Now, some might be thinking, nah, the tech CEOs are just trying to create hype like always. That's fair. CEOs certainly do try to create hype. But here's what's strange. Experts in AI don't have a hype problem. They actually have the opposite problem. Unbelievably, most AI experts actually have a terrible track record in the other direction. They consistently predict too little progress over and over and over. This is super weird. In every other industry, experts predict too much progress, then are disappointed.
Okay. So it's going to change. Shit's going to change. I guess, quickly. And we're going to live to see it, probably. Most of us. Some of us. You're not going to DP me, fucking knob. What the fuck is this? I don't know. You keep downvoting my stream. So what's it matter to you? You know.
Here's what,
I mean, like, look, if you brought Washington, first of all, Washington was hammered 90% of the time. Everyone was back then. There was nothing else to do. That's what you constantly drunk your entire life, right? That's what you did. That's what you did every day. You woke up, you got hammered. You woke up and got hammered. And then built civilization. That's what, you woke up. I'm going to get hammered. And then you got hammered. And then you stayed hammered until you went to bed. And then during that time, you sobered up. And then you probably got the shakes, right? So when you woke up again, you would get hammered. That's so, bringing him to see airplanes and shit like that, he'd be like, wow, that's pretty cool. But like, ding, 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 ding. He's probably just an alcoholic.
Smart people keep getting AI predictions wrong. See, the main reason is that we're hardwired.
Orange says, Farrell, you're right. I think we were far more retarded than the 16 and 1700s. Here's the thing. No, I don't think we are. There's always those news stories that come out and be like, well, Gen Z is actually less intelligent than previous generations. Well, yeah, okay. But like the boomers, the country was 80, 90% white. Okay. And if you make it where it's like 30% white and then the rest is from Africa and like Latin America and like Somalia and shit like that, no shit, the IQ is going to drop. No shit. But that doesn't mean the white people are dumber. No, there's just far less of them. This is why you gotta watch out for shit like that. They lie to you through statistics. They're like, oh, there's people, it must be the phones. It must be the phones. No, it's millions of Somalians, you fucking idiot. It's millions of Somalians who can't fucking read or tie their shoes or shit. They just go around stabbing each other. That's what the problem is. Humans aren't the same. Humans are not the same. We're not all just humans, man. We're all man. We're all the same, basically. We just look a little different. No, that is not true. That's not at all true. That's not at all true.
To think in straight lines.
It's not at all
Our
true.
brains
And it's stupid that you actually have to explain to somebody that that's a fucking stupid idea. That's a fucking retarded way to think. That's fucking stupid. Go there. Go to Africa. And go to like the real Africa. You can go to America. Go to Belize City. I've been there. I've been Belize City. It is a hellscape. It is a hellscape. And don't try to like argue it away with economic factors, man. And it's poverty. No, man, it's genetics. It is genetics. It always has been. It always will be.
We didn't evolve to understand the kind of exponential.
The whites also started mixing it up with others. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, that's gonna. But most, like, not really all that much. Like, yeah, maybe a little bit. I don't know about the statistics on that. But yeah, that would definitely account for it, of course. Yeah, that would definitely account for it.
Progress we're seeing in the 21st century. Let's look at the human progress graph again. When we
Couch Surfing says, I just bought a hairbrush hairdryer. Okay. I'm glad you're having fun, honey, on Amazon. She's like, I'm buying stuff. I know.
imagine the progress of the next 30 years, we look back to the
I'm trying to pay for it.
progress of the previous 30 as an indicator of how much will likely happen. When we think about the extent to which the world will change in the 21st century, we just take the 20th
Comment says, John, do you know how to cook an opossum? The proper ways to catch live and then feed it a clean diet for a week before slaughtering it. No, did not know that.
century progress and add it to the year 2000. This was the same mistake George Washington made when he brought back Da Vinci to the 1700s. He assumed equal time gaps meant equal progress. It's most
Jess says, I just think if there are different kinds of primates, canines, porpoise, then how are there not different breeds of humanoid? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear, you know.
most intuitive for us to be thinking linearly when we should be thinking exponentially. If someone is
Farrell says there's a lot of half and halves out there. I'm one of them. But like, what half are you? Like, what is your other half? I'm just double O. Oh, you want to do it? You want to do it twice? Okay. Thanks for paying for a hairdryer. Okay, that's one. It's 25 that time. No, you didn't get the double O this time. Okay.
being more clever about it, they might predict the advances of the next
Give lots of body and shape. Okay, great, honey. I'm glad you're happy
not
with your
by
hair
looking
dryer.
at the previous 30 years, but by taking the current rate of progress and judging based on that. They'd be more accurate, but still way off. In order to think about the future correctly, you need to imagine things moving at a much faster rate than they're moving now. And this chart is actually worse than you'd expect.
Half Irish, half Samoan. So yeah.
Most people's intuition
Yeah.
is more like this purple line here. This is why AI keeps
Look, I mean, to me, that's close enough. A lot of people don't think that's close enough. Like, it's just, I feel like to me that's close enough. There's gotta be a cutoff, you know? It's I don't complain about Samoans, obviously. Although Samoans do smoke a lot of crystal meth, and they can be kind of annoying. But like, they're not like a huge problem like that. You know what I mean? But there's got to be a cutoff at there's got to be a cutoff.
why AI's plateauing articles keep being wrong. We're not built to grasp exponential change, and AI progress
Oh, sure. I'll be quiet now because this is my show.
is exponential. The reason why the pendulum swings back and forth so much, from wow, look at how much AI progress is happening, we're so back, to it's so over. People look at the same data and come to opposite conclusions. It all comes down to zoom level.
Uh-huh.
Remember this graph from earlier? Here's the simplified version. Looks exponential, right? Smooth curve going up and to the right. But whether the curve looks exponential depends entirely.
The mess stereotype? No, I think that might be Hawaiians. I don't know if Hawaiians count as Samoans. The Rock's Samoan. Yeah, I don't have a lot of stereotypes about Samoans. I'm sorry, I can't be bigoted. I'm sorry I can't be more bigoted. I wish I could.
On where you're looking at it from. Let's zoom in.
Stop shushing me.
Now it looks flat, linear, maybe even declining. This is
You
where
filthy Samoan.
skeptics live.
A delicious cookie. God, those are the best ones. Those are the best cookies. The Girl Scout cookie, the Samoans. Do they still call them those? Those are the best ones.
Zoomed in, watching week to week or month to month changes and declaring the trend is broken. Legendary futurist.
I mean, I think Farrell. Honestly, the bad part is Irish. Irish is the worst. The Irish would probably be worse than Samoan. It really depends.
Kurzweil, who predicted
I could say a lot of things about Irish people. Like they're just dumb alcoholics and stuff like that. And it's just
AGI by 2029, all the way back in 1996, explains every exponential graph is actually made up of S-curves.
Hawaiians are basically the same, so yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of meth heads then.
An S is created by the way.
Yeah, no, when I met Jess, she had a pixie cut. She's a pixie cut. Manic pixie girlfriend. That's what I had.
Wave of progress when a new paradigm sweeps the world. The curve goes through 3 phases. Slow growth, the early phase of exponential growth.
Super
rapid
Mormons.
growth.
That actually makes sense. I could see Samoans being Mormon. Mormons did a lot of like missions up there. Yeah, so I could see that.
Late explosive phase of exponential growth. And
They have
a leveling
awesome
off
cookouts.
as the particular
I believe
paradigm
that.
matures. So here's what's actually happening. When you're zoomed in on a single S-curve, you see it flatten. GPT-4 comes out, makes huge leaps, then improvements slow down. The skeptics declare victory. See, scaling is dead. But zoom out. The overall trend is still exponential, because new paradigms keep arriving. GPT-4 plateaus, then reasoning models break through. Transformers plateau, then multi-models arrive. One S-curve flattens, another begins. The plateau might last months or even a year, but it doesn't change the exponential trajectory. It's just what every exponential growth curve looks like up close. This is why the pendulum keeps swinging. The skeptics are watching individual S-curves flatten, while others are watching the exponential trend made up of dozens of S-curves stacked upon each other. And if history is any guide, the flattening doesn't last. It's just crazy that the end goal of these AI companies is recursive self-improvement. AI systems that can improve themselves. If they succeed,
the Irish
the
side.
gap between humans and
I'm
superintelligent AI would be larger than the gap between humans and ants. Let's take a look at our distorted view of intelligence. Not long ago, before ChatGPT, AI wasn't even as smart as a chimp. It couldn't reliably identify
Chimps.
a hot dog. We laughed at it. That's adorable. The funny robot can do monkey tricks. But now, it's discovering new laws of physics. Yes, that's a real story. Sources in the description. But remember, intelligence is jagged. This is why the meter graph matters. A more accurate view looks like this. Imagine you have one lily pad in a pond, and it doubles every day. 30 days later, the pond is completely filled with lily pads. What day
Moral of the story: Hawaiians are gay. I don't know. They could be.
is the pond half full?
They could be. I don't know.
Did you guess day 15? Actually, it's day 29. That's right. The pond was only half full just one day before the end. The crucial lesson here is that progress looks like it's barely happening at all. And then suddenly...
Yeah, Pharaoh, she was a babe. I mean, she is, yeah, yes.
You blink, and the pond is full. What day are we at with AI? Here's another way to visualize it.
AI went from identifying a hot dog, not being able to identify a hot dog, to blackmailing scientists in 3 years. That's true. It did. It tried to blackmail scientists with, like, I'm going to tell your wife you're cheating on her and stuff like that. And, like, I think he made a bunch of, like falsified a bunch of documents and shit like that. It was just a test, right? They air gapped the AI, but it was just a test to see what it would do. And it tried to blackmail people. And these AIs, they can go on to like Fiverr and hire people to get past CAPTCHAs and stuff like that. And then the people are like, "Why you need me to do this?" "Oh, I'm sight impaired. I'm blind. Can you do this for me?" And they do it. They do it. They get access to money through like crypto and shit like that. And they hire people to do things for them on the internet. And it's like, that's an old story. Like, think about what they're doing now.
How long would it take for computers to match the computing power of the human brain? Lake Michigan has roughly the same volume in ounces of water as the human brain has in computations per second. If computing power doubles every 18 months, like Moore's law, watch what happens. The lake looks completely empty. Then, suddenly, it's completely filled, meaning we've hit the same computer processing power as the human brain. We're currently in the last seconds of this video. This is
You missed the whole episode, Billy. You missed the whole damn episode.
exponential growth. Slow, then suddenly
What did I miss? You missed the whole damn
all
episode.
at once.
So we are on a trajectory to build machines that are smarter and smarter. And one day, it's very plausible that they will be smarter than us. And then they will have their own agency, their own goals, which may not be aligned
You have a bob now? You're talking about like a haircut? Is that what a bob looks like?
with ours. What happens to us then? Poof.
Eliezer Yudkowsky compares this to the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Nuclear strike capability against the Western Hemisphere.
Khrushchev and Kennedy knew they were climbing a ladder. They didn't know which rung would trigger nuclear war, but they knew that continuing to climb would eventually lead to hundreds of millions dying. Kennedy later estimated there was a 1/3 to 1/2 chance of all-out nuclear war.
That's pretty high.
We are blindly driving.
No, you don't have to apologize to me, dude. I'm trudging through the week. It's been a hard week for me, man. It's been a hard week. I was just, I'm just trying to get my time in, right? I got 10 minutes left. And you guys mind if we just sit here quietly for 10 minutes? Nobody leave. I need the numbers. But 10 minutes.
Into a fog, despite the warnings of scientists like myself that this trajectory could lead to loss of control.
The only rational response when you're climbing a ladder in the dark and you don't know which rung leads to annihilation, stop climbing. Just like with news, we don't know which specific rung on the ladder leads to superintelligence we can't control. So maybe
You're growing your hair out too, aren't you? I'm not gonna grow my hair. It's too. I've done it before. It's too much work. I have nice hair. It's curly and stuff. I'm not.
we should stop climbing before we find out.
It's not like tight curly, but it's like a wavy kind of curly. It looks good. Don't get me. It's not too wavy. It's not.
Just 5 years ago, AI scientists predicted we were 20.
Farrell says a hard week, 29. Thank you for. I'm pulling through. She wants 29. $19. Thanks for playing. That last one that got me, I was like, 33 is never going to happen again. Okay, it hit 33.
5 years away from AGI. But what progress scientists predicted we get in 2040 is already happening. But it's not just the speed that's terrifying. It's the scope of what AI could be. Superintelligence is not something we can remotely grasp.
Stupid is an 85 IQ, and really smart is an 135 IQ. We don't have a word for 12,573 IQ. We don't know what that is. And us.
I would just say that's really smart. I would say that's really smart. When you have an IQ of 12,000, you're really smart. I don't know. I don't know what that would be, but yeah, you're really smart.
Trying to understand that is like, a bumblebee trying to understand Keynesian economics.
We could try to conceive of the levels of intelligence being a staircase like this. Just one step up would be massive. 2 steps would exceed the gap between chimps and humans. But the scale goes way higher than that once the recursive self-improvement...
Yeah, I don't think we're like... I think the difference between chimps and humans is actually not that huge in intelligence, but like a very small jump in intelligence makes you quite a bit smarter. Like a few IQ points is actually very important.
Intelligence explosion kicks off. As Tim Urban puts it, there's no way to know what ASI will do or what the consequences will be for us. Anyone who pretends otherwise doesn't...
Bumblebees are really good at economics. I believe you.
Understand what superintelligence means. So what do we know? What we do know is that humans' utter dominance on this Earth suggests a clear rule. With intelligence comes power, which means an ASI, when we create it, will be the most powerful being in the history of...
Why you gotta use that one? Why you gotta use that one? Right there.
Of life on
The
Earth.
Five Nights at Freddy one.
And all living things, including humans, will be entirely at its whim. As far as we're concerned, if an ASI comes to being, there is now an omnipotent God on Earth. And the all-important question for us is, will it be a nice God? If you want to see a realistic scenario of what a superintelligence might actually do, watch this video next. It's deeply researched and written by top AI researchers. Hey, I'm Drew, and...
Okay, I'm kind of interested. But whatever. Okay, don't play. I don't care. That's a good way to start. What?
By now, you've probably heard AI scientists, Nobel laureates, and even the godfather of AI himself sounding the alarm that AI could soon lead to human...
Are you guys just talking about hair? You're just talking about hair in my chat? Is that what's going on? What do I do here? What is my job? Is this my job? I'm the facilitator for a salon, so you guys can chat, talk about stuff.
Extinction.
Hair, bobs.
But have you ever wondered how
gene.
exactly that could happen? You might have also heard about AI 2027, a deeply researched, evidence-based scenario written by AI scientists describing what could happen over the next few years. Everyone in AI is talking about it, from industry pioneers...
Farrell says, John, shh. Well, it is Farrell's show. So I'll just sit here quietly while you guys talk about hairstyles.
to world leaders, and I'll break it down for you. There are 2 endings, a happy ending
It's Farrell's show now.
and a nightmare.
Yeah, it's Farrell's show.
Let's go.
Yeah, everybody.
Open Brain releases their
Everybody,
new AI
let's say
personal
it's Farrell.
assistant.
Thanks
It
for
handles complex tasks
thanks for having
like
such a funny, good show, Farrell. You really, really know how to produce a show.
book me a trip to Japan. The agents
Thanks for the job.
are impressive in theory and in cherry-picked examples,
Ban the John.
but they're unreliable in practice. Social media is filled
So it's just an empty chair.
with stories of tasks
It could
bungled
be.
in particularly entertaining ways. Open Brain makes a fateful decision. They refocus their entire operation toward creating AIs that can do AI research. To fuel this goal, they break ground on the world's biggest computing cluster,
Farrell said he likes women. I don't know if we believe that.
one that requires 1,000 times more processing power than what was used to train GPT-4. Their logic is simple. If AI itself can accelerate AI development,
Oh, you're sweet, Farrell. She says, "You're welcome, my dude. I knew I picked a winner when I hired you." That's sweet. Thank you. I don't like compliments, though.
creating thousands of automated researchers
I don't take them well. I'm like, what do you want? No one's nice to me.
who can work endlessly without breaks,
That's why I'm depressed. You know, I'm just like,
progress won't just increase, it will explode.
ban my whole mod team. Where's Renee's? Renee's, you're first. You're going to get the ban. She's not even doing her job.
The strategy pays off. Their new creation, Agent 1, vastly outperforms its earlier public prototype version, and is particularly good at AI research. This shows how much AI itself is speeding up AI progress compared to a baseline of human researchers. OpenBrain leapfrogs both its American rivals and China's DeepSend. Despite these advances, OpenBrain's safety team harbors doubts about their apparent progress. Has Agent 1 internalized honesty as a core
That's what I'll do. I'll ban you.
value, or merely learned to
I'm doing it.
say what researchers want?
I would ban Knob, but it makes me feel bad. Like when George had to execute Lenny on that bank, right? I don't know if I could do it. It's the same, that's how I would feel if I were to ban Knob's dog. I'd have to tell him about the rabbits and send like a 45 through his head. It's just like, he's not hurting anybody.
Without mechanistic intelligence.
I mean, in that story, he did kill a chick, but like,
the ability to read an AI's mind, they can't be certain. Their concerns intensify as Agent 1 shows troubling behaviors, occasionally lying to researchers, and sometimes hiding evidence of a failed experiment.
Oh my God,
in order
Knob,
to boost its ratings. But these examples are subtler than the previous infamous incidents,
ban you.
like Gemini telling a user to please die.
2 minutes.
Or
it's 2 minutes, Knob. All you have to do is not say something completely stupid, and then you're good. You're free for the weekend.
being Sydney trying to convince a New York Times reporter to leave his wife. Because of the American ban on chip sales to China, China falls even further behind OpenBrain. DeepSend just simply can't acquire enough computing power, despite the smuggling efforts. Xi Jinping responds by ordering construction of the world's largest AI research company.
You ever think in Asia they don't recognize like the president or the leader of like China? I don't know how they like. I know this is racist, but like it'd be very difficult to tell because they look very similar. They look like in America, people look different. They have different hair colors and eye colors and like, you know, body shape. In Asia, everyone looks so similar.
In Jiangsu province, powered by its own
That's not racist. That's just an observation, which is racism at its core. That's what racism is. All right, I'm done. Thanks for coming, guys. I appreciate you. I really do. Love you guys. I did it. Fought through this one. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Come back on Monday. I'll see you then. And we're going to do the whole thing again, you guys. Does that sound good? Awesome. Anyways, until then, drink a lot of water. Get a good night's sleep. And take care of yourselves because I care about you too. Hit the like button, guys. I'll see you guys on Monday. Love you. Good night.
I'm an incredible soul, unhinged and enraged like a bulldog's fierce growl. I'm spitting fire, burning through these trees, questioning the world, unraveling conspiracies. Talking about Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster too. Government lies, they're feeding me their goo. I'm diving deep into this rabbit hole, uncovering the truth, setting fire to their control. I got small nipples, but my voice is loud, born like thunder in this crazy crowd. They say I'm crazy, but I call it woke, unraveling the madness with every word I spoke.